What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Snow Blunt Talk. Now, here on Snow Blunt Talk, we know we're a very spiritual community here. So we all know that when it comes to this idea of following God, walking with God, tapping in with your higher self, losing your ego, this concept of awakening, of breaking through, that essential jump you make, we're very familiar with this concept, and we're very familiar with the various ways people go through to get it. You have all these different religions, all these different spiritualities, everything you could possibly think of has been put out there to sell people this idea that they're gonna get closer to God, they're gonna find their true calling, they're gonna be their true self, they're gonna break free. You know what I'm saying? Because this life is hard. This life is hard, and if you're an emotional person like myself, it begins to take a toll on you, and you look for a way to cope with it. And I will say one of the healthiest, but also one of the most WTF ways to get to that point is following spirituality. Because yes, the key to breaking free of, the torture of living in this 3D material world, part of it is divinity, part of it is a certain spirituality, but the process of getting to this has been so contorted by so many different dogmas and ideas, and even the confusion of there being some sort of step list to get to this point, right? Because at the end of it all, something I've come to realize very recently is that each one of us, see, when people talk about God is everywhere all the time, God is in all things, think about it like this. This consciousness you have right now that's watching me, this other consciousness, whoever you are, wherever you are, God manifested as, and I'm saying God, what I mean, look, the concept of the creator was taught to me being a person with my own background, of my own story, raised in a Western world speaking English. I'll get to that later. This concept was expressed to me at first as God, and that's all I could define it by for years of my life, at the most crucial years of my life when I was very young. So I'm gonna keep saying God. I don't mean any specific, I mean the one creator. The creator has so many different names and so many different languages. The creator isn't, some one thing you can point to. It's even in the scriptures themselves in the Bible, the creator seemed different. The creator is one thing. It's indescribable. We'll get to that later. But I'm going to say the word God, but just know I mean the everywhere, all the time, impossible to define creator. God made himself manifest through you. The way that you express yourself, the way you look, the way you act, the way you talk, what you like to do. God meant to find themselves through you. You're a vessel. You're a vessel, and these emotions that you have and whatever inclinations you might have, you have to stop blocking yourself from experiencing your emotions. You have to. If you blocking yourself from experiencing your emotions, you can't get to know the creator. Only through when you get a nervous system, electric response from anything that happens, people call it triggers. When you get that, you have to sit with that emotion and process it. Because with that influx of energy, because all energy, you can call it good, you can call it bad, it's just energy, and energy is divine. When you get that energy, that's your time to lock in. Why does this trigger me? Why am I feeling this way? And know that the road to overcoming whatever discomfort you might have, within that is the knowledge the creator meant to store in you. And that's the beauty of this whole reality. The fact that we do have triggers and also impulses to do great things. They're all divine. That's how God is essentially, he's playing a game with himself, as Alan Watts put it. He's leading himself back to himself, right? Because everything, this whole orchestration, the whole way the universe is going right now, the fact that I'm standing on some random wooden stage at a campus filming a video at 2:30 something p.m. right now, it God's in all of it. That's all the universe is just one consistent happening. There's no, sometimes your life may get better, sometimes your life may get worse. It's really ultimately happening in one consistent direction. And that direction is the direction that it's supposed to be going in. See, within things like that, that's where the wisdom of the creator is. Life is one great happening. You could believe your life's getting better. In the grand scheme, it could have been getting worse. Some people get hella rich, start getting a lot of money. They don't know they're basically building their casket. And the only way to find out would be to live through that. And that's why people say only God knows. Only God knows. The reason this whole world is going the way it is, and that's why to get to know the creator, first of all, this person that you think you are, because all these religions, these spiritualities, I'm not gonna sit up here and say they're complete bullshit. They all give you little clues to get to that feeling of being aligned with your higher self, walking with God, knowing the creator. You look at the life of Jesus, you look at the life of the Buddha, you look at the life of Muhammad, what do you see in common? They all completely renounced the material world. They renounced the need to protect this person, this idea of, oh, I need to have status in this world and I need people to know that I am an important person and I matter in this world. I need people to know that everybody, the plane in the sky matters and all of it. You have to give up the parts of you that want any type of material gain, right? You have to give up this idea that, oh, if I'm this type of person, I'll be more popular with my peers. If I'm this type of person, I'm gonna make more money. You look at yourself, how you act, and the goals you have in this life. If one of them, if you act in a certain way to be liked, if you act in a certain way to gain something, all those intentions are taking you away from the creator. All of them. Fuck it, if I get embarrassed or if I look funny to people, it doesn't matter. Why? Because I'm following my intuition. See, the true way to get to know the creator on your own terms is to follow your intuition. But even this within itself is its whole can of worms. Because another thing those religions and those spiritualities are really trying to teach you, they're not, no book is going to flat out tell you this is how you follow God. What most of them are going to tell you is how to develop your discernment. See, I tell you to follow God, you have to follow your intuition. And a lot of people will take that and go and say, well, I feel like having sex with 7 prostitutes in one night. And they're gonna go and do it, and they're gonna come back on here and be like, Kyle, you said follow your intuition. Well, I just thought, no, man. This is why you have to renounce those desires of the physical world. You don't know how many of those instincts are starting to be programmed into your mind to tell you, oh, I want to go do this. I want to go get this. You don't know how many of those are fed by desire, fed by lack. You really have to examine yourself. And this is why a lot of very wise people will tell you one of the key rules to life is knowing yourself. To get to the creator, you have to know yourself. People will tell you to just reject yourself, to leave yourself behind. No, because how are you gonna know what intentions are in your best interest if you don't know yourself? See, I am on this path of telling you guys this information and seeking out this information because I got to know deep down within myself, solace for me isn't within, getting some money from however, doing something to just get a little car. Yeah, I say this in every video now because it's really weighing on my mind. All these spoils of the material world, they don't mean shit to me. And I had to figure that out on my own terms. I could have been one of those people like, well,
I gotta look good. I gotta be successful. I gotta be rich so everyone knows
No, I had to come to the conclusion myself that line of thought does nothing for me. All it does actually is make me even more depressed. It makes me even more stressed. To get to know the creator on your own terms, it's not about looking at what you're doing right now and trying to change what you're doing right now and put many no. What you gotta do is look at the patterns in your life and how they interact with each other. See, if I notice every time I'm doing something to appease others, I end up impenetrably miserable and I'm terrified and I feel all these negative emotions, but then I notice when I follow at my core what I want to do, when I follow what I've been passionate about and I examine what I've been passionate about and really isolate what I'm, at the core, what drives that passion and follow that, I have a overwhelming feeling of peace. Things may be hard, but I feel like I can overcome them. It's when you study these patterns, you get to know what the creator within yourself is trying to tell you. Because what the creator is trying to do is make this orchestration go as smoothly as possible through you. That's why people say you got to let go and let God. You got to in order to really help yourself. If you think, Andre 3000 said this, if you think too much, you're removing what's moving. All right, this whole egoic, all this nonsense of what you think you want to do and who you think you are, and all this overthinking that's causing you pain and stress, you're getting in the middle of something that's way more powerful than you, a consistent happening that at the end of the day, remember, we got to look at the stories of the great enlightened prophets, or whatever you want to call them. The Buddha's father didn't want him to experience pain and suffering, so he kept him isolated. But then the Buddha just ended up going outside one day. He saw pain and suffering, and then he inevitably became the Buddha. Whatever, you got to realize at the end of the day, whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. So you might as well get in tune with that happening, get in tune with that before, you know what I'm saying, you just get in the middle, you over here thinking, oh man, I'm meant to be a big stockbroker, I'm meant to be that nigga, I'm Jordan Belfort to these hoes, man. And then you end up, the whole shit crash, your whole life go to shit, and you end up being forced to be a street preacher. And you might be thinking, damn, I should have been studying for this before. Well, no, but what am I trying to tell you through that whole metaphor? Whatever is meant to happen, whoever you're meant to be, with a person like me who's very sensitive, that reality is just, it's pulsating against my skin trying to get out. That's why I just gave up and I'm living it now. But many people are very stubborn. They'll hold on to their ego until it's forced away from them. And this is why it's so important that you renounce all the spoils the material world gives you. Renounce everything that you think you might get out of what people tell you you should be doing, what the world, how the world tells you should be. And on top of knowing yourself, one of the greatest ways to get to know the creator is telling the truth and living in that truth. You have to live in your truth to get to know the creator, because how could you have the discernment to follow your intuition if you don't even know who you truly are and how that benefits you? How are you going to attract the things and people that you need in your life if you're perpetrating all the time? You can't. I had to watch my life be at a consistent standstill to always end up in the same pitfalls in order to realize, hey, there's, something inside of me begging to be let out. Maybe this transformation that I'm searching for is on the other side of that. Maybe me trying to keep up an image for the material world is exactly what's holding me back. Because this energy, bro, we all have energy. Our energy fucking hates being used to impress the material. That's why the whole world is in hell. Everybody's using their God-given energy to impress, the whole matrix. And that's why motherfuckers get depressed all the time, because this energy hates being used for that bullshit. Once you focus inward where the creator truly is, that's when you start to feel, a lot of people call it, for simpler terms, we'll call it self-love. You start to feel self-love. You start to pour love into other things. And how can you love yourself except on your own terms? Accepting things that other people may not know about you. Accepting things in only the way you know how. You see how you can only use your own terms to get in tune with the creator? The creator has been trying to tell itself this story through all the things you've been through. Like I said earlier, I was born in a Western country speaking English. So when I think of God, I say the word God. That's how I connect with the creator. And that's how I was meant to, by saying a certain word that evokes a certain feeling. Somebody born on the other side of the world could say Allah and get the same exact feeling. And here we are, being in the fucking matrix, arguing over,
oh, this is how you really get to God. This is how you truly get to God.
We're gonna be in that argument forever if people don't realize that each and every individual, we're all our own people, and that individuality matters, because we're all supposed to get to that space on our own terms. All this knowledge, all the studying I've done, all the practicing, all the meditating, all the prayer, the answer is not in any of that. All that stuff could do is help point you toward the answer. For example, meditating. You could meditate for hours and hours and days on end, and you might get a glimpse, if you're doing it correctly, you might get a glimpse of that feeling of being in touch with the Creator, but it's not gonna solve your life completely. What you really need to be doing is, and it's an indescribable feeling. That's why everyone trying to put labels and terms on the Creator, it doesn't work, because the true experience of the Creator, you can't describe it. There's no words to describe it. When I intuitively come with these words, I can't tell you what's driving me, because it wasn't meant to be explained. It's only meant to be felt. Even with this video, I'm only giving you tips on how to identify that feeling within yourself. A lot of you might know what I'm talking about, and I really hope you do, because the theologians all argue, but the mystics all agree. The oneness of God that, the scriptures talk about, that's that same feeling that across that feeling of love, I guess. Let's use love, because that's what a lot of it is. Let's use love as the placeholder. We all experience love the same way. It don't matter if you was born broke as fuck in Saudi Arabia, and it don't matter if you was born rich as fuck in Canada. When you get to that real universal love, we all feel the same thing. That's where the unity, the oneness of God, of Source, the Creator is. One thing about intuition, see, when I had that example of someone who watched this video and they think their intuition is telling them to go have sex with 7 prostitutes and they come back and complain, I'm saying that to say instinct is very different from intuition. See, if you think of doing something and it excites you, it excites you in a way that just, it takes you out of yourself, right? It, not in a good way, it like kind of jerks you out of yourself. Like, you get fucking horny beyond belief, horny beyond societal decency. You get angry beyond compare. These are not the feelings you should be following. When something's very excited and jumpy and it doesn't make you feel, it kind of makes you feel, I can't describe it. All I'm saying is it throws you off. If something throws you off and that feeling is like percolating in your mind, that's not your intuition. One thing I know about intuition is that it's just like water. Water, throughout all of water, it maintains that fluidity, that sameness, you know what I'm saying? Water, and it's very calm in nature. It's not like something where you see fire and then it just draws your whole attention. Water is just there. It's calm, but it can be powerful. It can God wiped the whole world out with a flood. Because remember, water can be calm, water can be powerful. I'll try and put it to you like this. It's a feeling that is as powerful as it is calm. It brings you as much excitement as it does peace. Anger, horniness, these things might bring, or dopamine hits, like going on social media, it'll give you excitement, but it won't give you peace. When something gives you the two sides of the spectrum, excitement and peace, being calm and also excited, happy, that's where intuition, the Spirit of God is. It says in the first verse of the Bible, the Spirit of God is hovering over the waters. And this ties into love, because the best love, the most powerful love, the truest love, it's calm, it's kind, it's patient. It's not like, yes, oh my God, my big titty God girlfriend, yes, oh fuck, she's not responding to my text. Oh no, I'm so heartbroken. You could even see it in some of y'all relationships. If your relationships are always going up and down, left and right, that ain't love, man. Y'all got attachment issues. This oscillating scale between pain and pleasure, there's no love there. Love is the calm, patient kindness that you can't describe it, but it just has the power to take over your life and control it. And when you let that happen, you know it's real because you feel a peace that you can't describe. A lot of what happens with the Spirit of God, the Creator, the love, intuition, you'll know you've hit the jackpot when you cannot describe what you're feeling. What motivates me so strongly to make these videos, to do all the things I do, I can't tell you what it is. I don't know how much money I'd ever get out of doing this, if any. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I have these visions, I have these feelings, and I'm just drawn to it. And when I do it, and then the love that I pour into this comes back to me through the beautiful comments that you all leave me, that I love them so much. If you've, within the past month, within the past, like, you know, because this channel, we've really been growing a lot recently. We've been growing a lot. And if you recently stumbled upon a video and commented on it, and you know, you would know, because I reply to, I might have missed some, but I reply to mostly all of them. And so if I ever replied to your comment, thank you. If I've ever hearted your comment, thank you. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's what I'm doing it for. That love, when it comes back to me, it's indescribably yesterday, I got like a handful of comments and a handful of, and I realized I had to do this video. I have to keep on facilitating this feeling of love. I have to. There are going to be certain things in life where it doesn't matter what gets in the middle of it. It doesn't matter who's knocking at your door. It doesn't matter how your depression feels. It doesn't matter how anyone else feels. You just have to do them. And doing them gives you a feeling no drug, no orgasm, no anything can compare to. And that's how you know that you've touched upon the Spirit of God. And that's how you get to know the Creator. Live in your truth. Don't deny yourself the experience of your emotions. Renounce any idea of a material gain or egoic gain. And just be thankful for the fact that you get to be here and exist. And when you can finally completely and wholly process all that is holy that goes on within you, when you get these impulses, when you get these triggers, when whatever happens to you, when you accept that fully and don't lie to yourself, and when you feel the calmness, the excitedness, and the sureness, and the knowing, which is something that I can guarantee you will feel at certain points in your life, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and rejecting fear that gets in the middle of you following that, that's where you find the Creator on your own terms. We all have different feelings, we all have different reactions, we all have different emotions, so we all have completely and utterly different systems within ourselves of finding the Creator. The body is the temple. Respect your body, cleanse your body, and then all the energy that's supposed to teach you and guide you can flow within it the way it needs to. And you'll feel, because the mind is not just in the brain, the mind is all over the body. When you feel your body intelligence wholly in agreement with something, the body is the temple. The temple is where you pray, so that's where, not the flesh, but your energetic body, which you can only access by purifying the flesh. Cleanse your body, eat healthy, exercise, and make sure that whenever you feel, however you feel, you can feel your whole bodily intelligence agreeing with you, because the body is the temple, and we all have different bodies, so we all have to arrive at our own path at the same destination. You guys take care of yourselves. It's been Snow Blunt Talk.